Hey, welcome back to Hot Range Fabrication. Today in the shop, working on a old Sand Limo. Some friends of mine bought this thing and wasn't running and pretty old. It's been sitting around for a long time, but it's in really good shape. Got this motor here. I'm putting in just a single overhead cam, 2.5. It's got a little turbo. Should run pretty good. The old motor had some issues, so rather than trying to build it all back up, we just replaced it with this motor that I got pretty cheap. So like I said, this is a nice car. Needs a little TLC. Just needs some cleaning up, but got some nice components on it. We do need to put the bypasses on it. Somebody stole those, so that's gonna have to be done, but nice little four-seater. Joe at Sand Limo did a great job on this thing. Super clean for as old as it is. Just needs a little bit of scrubbing and some polishing. And got me a little motorcycle I'm working on from another customer. So it needs a little TLC also. Got to wire up some turn signals on it and just kind of get it running a little bit better. So yeah, that's what's going on. Busy. Got another project coming in after this. Just got back from the dunes from President's Weekend. That video is up. Hopefully you've watched that already. We had a great time out there and everything ran good. Didn't have to fix anything, so we're in good shape. So I will post some videos on this guy, put one together for you on putting this little thing together. It'll probably be a couple different videos because it's probably going to take about a week or so to get everything kind of transferred and get it running. Working with an older computer and stuff like that. So stay tuned and we will get this thing running. All right, got the new motor stabbed. Still need to clean it. I got to take the valve covers off and actually replace the valve cover gasket, so I'll be able to scrub all that down and then get into the little nooks and crannies. I got to swap the oil pan. This one's a standard oil pan. It actually kind of sticks down below the frame. This oil pan over here has already been chopped off. So a couple things that I like to do just to make things clean. First of all, this right here, what is this? Come on. Stick a bolt in there with just some baling wire. I mean, okay, it worked, but seriously, a little cheesy. All I did was just 1/4 inch tap and put a plug in there and it's done. So much cleaner, so much easier. All right, so swapping out my pans. They're just a glue on, so I don't need a gasket. Just some gasket maker. A nice little bead on there. You can see this one's kind of flat. This one's all rounded out. And of course, when you put a shallower pan on there, you also have to have a shallower pickup tube. And then you can see they put a little rod on there. It's kind of a cool trick. That's so in case you do hit hard and smash the pan, you're still going to be able to get oil up through your motor. Old school trick, but it works. Let's get the pan on. All right, she's coming along. Got the pipe back on there. Turbo is on there. Still got to hook some stuff up. Trying to clean some things up. They had this big old long hose, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it was hooked up to a little water pipe that was over here. So that water pipe right there was flipped around, hooked on over here, and then this hose came all the way around to the back side and hooked up into a little pipe over there, which is crazy why you would do that. Let me turn this music down. Alright, so it's crazy why you would do that. You have 2 feet of hose on there. So what I did was I took the tube from the heater, which normally would run back there, lopped it off, made a little elbow right here, and I literally have, what, 3 inches of hose now? So super easy. And then this is the feed side. So it's not too bad, but yeah, just trying to think of things that are a lot cleaner. So my funky little throttle system here is kind of cool. This is a different intake. This one actually sits a little bit higher than the old one, so the intake or the linkage, you know, is up here, and the cable comes way down here. So it was a good 5 or 6 inch spread. So I ended up making this little bracket. And you see, I just bolted it down here and welded a little piece on there, bolted it over there, and then I had this kind of weird looking bolt, drilled a hole through there, stuck a bolt through it, welded a little arm on the back side, and I made this little linkage here out of a couple ball joints that you can get over at Ace Hardware, and yeah, it works. A little hard to push here just because everything's kind of sharp, but it does flow very easily from the front. And just got to get a regular Clevis pin for this. I'm not going to keep that in there, and then take it all back apart, powder coat everything. But kind of happy with that. It's kind of cool. And then the original tube that went over to the turbo doesn't quite fit now, so I just got to redo that. And then the water pipes that were just hideous, they don't fit anyway, so I'm gonna make new water pipes. This one's gonna go down, and then underneath here, so I made a new pipe for the bottom on here. The old housing went straight over and basically ran into the header. So I made a new one. This pipe is all connected. And then I'll make a new pipe that runs back there with a hose connected to it. So that's what's going on today. I'll let you know when I get her done. All right, so I just made this coolant pipe. I made this one the other day. This one I just made pretty easy. You just get a U-bend, thusly, and just cut it off, put a piece there, use the other half, put a piece here. So this was only one U-bend, and then just filled it in with a couple sections, and then just a little piece of hose on each side. So super easy. Now I'm going to build the other one. I'll show you guys a little bit more in depth how I do that one. Going to be just a teeny tiny bit more complicated, but not too bad. All right, so the water neck comes out over here. So I'm just gonna run this one back this way. Kind of go straight across and then up. So all I have to do is slice this in half, weld a little piece onto there, and then form the rest. So I like this little table that I built for my saw. That works really well. I actually bought a heavy duty bandsaw. This is a wood saw. And I did put a metal blade on there, but the speed is just weird and it doesn't work very good. I'll use that every now and then. It works a little bit better on aluminum. But this one's awesome. So, all right. So I kick that up a little bit. Kick that up, go straight across, kind of level with that one, and then up. That should fit pretty good. So if I go about 4 inches, that is good, yeah? All right, so 4 inches on that little piece. Cut it, smooth it out, weld it on there, and we'll keep rocking and rolling. All right, got my little piece on there. Just kind of deburred it, cleaned it all up. I like to line up the seams when I can, and 100% doesn't make any difference whatsoever. By the time you're done and sanded and cleaned and powder coated or whatever, you're never going to see that. But I don't know, just kind of something I do. Seems to make it a little bit cleaner. All we do is just tack this together. This is just a fusion tack. All you do is just stick it on there and give it one little blast real quick. If you go too far, you're going to start melting. You do have to have enough juice to make it kind of melt and stick together. But it makes it quick and easy, and you can hold it together and don't have to worry about using your other hands. Alright, so that one didn't work. There's too much of a gap. It kind of blew just a tiny little hole. So no big deal. This is a pretty good sit up anyway. Alright, now it's tacked together. Alright. Magnet works. Realtors. Okay. I think that's welded. So hard to get a stack of dimes. I've never been good at that. I could stick stuff together. I mean, it's not horrible. The thin stuff like this, it melts so fast. I just really struggle with consistency. That's where I had the little hole, so it's a little blobby, and then it's just all over the place, but it'll stick. It's good. I'm good. It's good. These little magnets are nice to have. I have a whole bunch of different shapes and stuff. Stick them right to the bench, and you can stick them different places. Kind of neat. Alright, let's go see if it fits. Okay, so this one comes out right there. I could just run this down that way, kind of straight across, but it's kind of ugly. I think maybe I'll actually put a little kicker in there. Come over here. And then something like that. I think that'll look good. So over here, down there. All right, so straighten that up. Oh yeah, don't you know? That'll look nice. So kick it right about where it bends down and bend sideways. So six inches. Alright, so this one will be 6 inches. Cut that, weld it. Yeah, okay. There, a little there, just tiny bit, and a little more there. I got them out here. I don't know how to do that job. I'm trying to out. Yeah, wait, that down. All right, there. Let's do that a little bit better. All right, so that is going to fit in there. That lines up with this one. Very nice. And this one will kick back. Beautiful. Alright, so now we need another one of these. That will go in here. I'm going to do this at a little bit of an angle, and then have to probably put a little couple inch piece in there. And then same thing with this. Kind of connect them together. Keep it out of the way of my throttle. Yeah, I can go as high as I want. I could actually just go right on there if I wanted to. We'll see how it looks. But let's figure out the angle first. Alright, so all about there. Yeah? You like it? See? A little short piece there. Or I could actually just hook it right on there if I wanted to. Then I think it'll be a little bit more difficult to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is that. Yes. So 2, 1.5. Yeah, we'll do 1.5. Got some dents over here. Oh, that'll work out pretty good. Perfect. Just gonna get right on the other side of that dent. Clean all this up. Nice fit. All right, so got this in the air. Oh, whoa, whoa, calm down. All right, and then that goes there. So not bad. I want to try and level this off. That'll look good. All right, so we'll start clamping some stuff down and so it doesn't move around, so I can get a good measurement on that last piece. Stand by. Alright, got this last piece kind of going together. You can see how I make the lines on there. When I'm holding it on the car, I make 3 lines. That way when you put it on the bench, you can kind of line them up. Hold them with your hand. Seems to work pretty good. Get this last piece welded. See if it fits. Weld it up. So, I don't know if I should mention, but this welding process is called TIG welding, tungsten inert gas. So you have tungsten here, inert gas, which is argon that runs through here. Whenever you have molten steel, you don't want oxygen getting in there because it will contaminate the weld and oxidize the weld and just make it a mess. So you have to have an inert gas, which is what the argon does. It comes out of the tip, and I have a pedal down here that controls the amount of amperage. And then you have to have a filler rod. When you put it on there and strike an arc, it starts to melt the metal, and then you dab the filler rod into the seam that you're welding. So TIG welding works extremely well on this thin stuff. Makes a super clean bead. Over here is a MIG welder. You could technically MIG weld this, it'd be just a little bit harder. You'd have to go kind of slow and not much heat because this stuff is super thin and it could blow through. Of course, you can gas weld it if you're really good with a acetylene torch. You could use some different rods on there. There's brazing that you can do on this, is actually pretty good, and that would hold also. So a lot of different ways to put this together, but I just buy these U-bends like you saw. You can get those here in Phoenix. You can get it at Fabrication or at Chuck Speed Center. There's a couple different places that carry them, or you can order them online, obviously. But yeah, it's super easy. So that's the finished product. Should go over there and slip right in. So let's go check it out. All right, so you can see there, she does fit pretty good. It was pretty straight across over there, straight up. And this tube down here, pretty level. Obviously this one's going to be curved, but it kind of matches the curve of the bottom one. It's kind of neat to have things lined up like that. And then you can see this one lines up straight down, so yeah, I'm okay with that. This one dips down a little bit, but it lines up with the frame, so I like it. So all I gotta do is slap a little paint on this one. I can't powder coat this, I don't think it'll fit in my oven. So I'll slap some paint, I like some crinkle paint on there, it looks kind of cool. We'll get that painted up, put on. I'm going to work on the next piece, which is getting this tube to fit. This goes in there for the turbo, but as you can see, a little misalignment there, so I have to cut it off, drop her down so it lines up with that.